Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, y'all. We got us a new show. We got us a new show. Just came out. It's brand new. They hit the ground running and already have more subscribers than me. Sons of bitches.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to our new project here with myself, Fiona, Olivia, and Tina. Now, you know who all we are and why we're here, but there's a reason why we're here. We've declared ourselves the Ministry of Psychic Weather, and we're going to try and find a way to guide you all through this turbulent future that we're all heading into, because it's pretty apparent to anybody paying attention that we are entering into very, very interesting times. And while there are sort of like psychological and cultural and other faculties involved, don't forget that this is ultimately a spiritual battle and a period of spiritual transcendence. And during the course of this program, which will be semi-regular or regular depending on, it's almost like an emergency broadcast, we do it as you need it. And this is why we're going out this week, because we've noticed tremendous Renfielding around the place, and also other things like pathological individuals who overuse word salad. There's all kinds of strangeness, and this is usually a sign, from my sort of like pseudo psychological psychic studies of something bubbling in the zeitgeist. And I know a lot of you agree with me about that on the Renfielding. It's usually
We're gonna
a simmering of an energy force. Now,
I need to brush my hair. I haven't done it yet. I'm not really full. I'm not awake. To believe I'm awake is a lie. But Renfielding is like, if you ever saw Bram Stoker Dracula, he had this minion guy, this crazy guy that ate bugs. That guy was Renfield. Renfield was like he's like the tool of the system. So people, when they get caught up in the craziness and they're just losing their fucking minds, like Karens, and people that are just out of control, um, those are Renfields. And in case you don't know, food for thought, Karen stands for know-it-all, aggressive, rude, entitled, never satisfied. Karen. I didn't know that. I didn't know it stood for something, but it does, and that's what it stands for. We have a large owl in our town now. It could be because of the very high amount of human trafficking that is done through the CPS, which they do in this town. I don't know why. There's nothing you can do about it except fight. But there's a lot of pieces of shits here. Yeah, they do some pretty heinous stuff, but who gives a shit? I don't know. Big Al. I'll put the picture of it too. So there's Renfield, and there's that, and here's the new show.
we've gone for this sort of Southern Gothic theme because, I don't know, it just seems appropriate right now. There's something about it. It's almost like,
How do you know?
The deep south of the USA kind of like is a twilight zone anyway, and it kind of feels very twilighty right now. So I just want to say good evening.
Clarification. Texas is not considered the Deep South. The Deep South would include such states as Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. That's the Deep South. Deep South. And it's like a whole nother world. Maybe not as much Georgia, but it meshes with Georgia. About 50%. I'm going to put the map up, but clarification, Texas normally doesn't apply. Definitely Alabama. That place is fucking out of control. You feel like you're in the Twilight Zone. I passed through there when I lived in Georgia as a kid, and it terrified me. I thought there was fucking alien shit going on.
Fiona, Olivia, and Tina.
Hi. Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So we are basically the main sort of like board of directors of the Ministry of Psychic Weather, if you want to call us that. But we will have other people on, and some weeks one of us might not be here for lots of reasons. So, you know, there's that kind of thing going on. But basically, this is what you're seeing going forward. Now, Renfielding. It's been very apparent lately. I'm going to go around. Well, this is not my show now. Remember, I'm just like an employee here, so it's not my show. So we're going to go around the board, I think, mainly, and ask if we've seen any Renfielding. I already mentioned that I've seen tremendous Renfielding outside, and it was so bad. And it's a weird thing that does happen. That when you see it in the supermarket or something like that, I start Renfielding myself. It's almost like you have to get away from them. And the last 2 days, I've noticed those tremendous Renfielding among the general public. So they're obviously they're agitated about something. So,
after the races.
What do you guys think? Have you noticed this too?
Mostly on the internet, for me. Not so much in the external world, but Danes are very reserved, and I live in Denmark, and they don't really go out in public that much anyway. But the internet, for sure, I have noticed an increase of it.
One of the things that makes you found, because I don't like going out so much unless I really have to anymore. And it's like you don't want to seem like you're judging the world by what you're doing on the internet, but it kind of forces you out there. And I find myself like, you saw the flag that I made recently with the rune and almost the script. That was almost like my psychic defense that I was kind of like scribbling down one day, and it was almost like two walls I was building, like one for like the internet Renfielding and one for the real life Renfielding. It almost felt like that at times. So
shut the fuck up. My water heater started making this noise, and I thought somebody was knocking on the door this morning. I rushed to get up, and I moved this table at the end of my bed last night, but underneath it was a brick. I ran across the brick and busted my foot open. I'm currently Busted Foot Jones.
I guess the question is that when we noticed it first, and we can talk about our own special way of looking at this thing, like Fiona and Olivia have a good, social sense for it, but they're both astrologers, and Tina with the runes and things like that. Okay, first I'll start with the two astrologers. Is there anything happening that's causing this in the astrological world?
Yeah. There are quite a lot of things going on at once, but we're getting very close to eclipse season. And eclipses, because it involves the moon, lunacy. So that would be the main thing. And also Saturn in Pisces, I think, is making people feel very depressed. A lot of people quite depressed and bleak, and then they take it out on other people.
Yeah, exactly, because it has a quality of being too maybe melancholic or too dreamy or too detached from reality. On the other hand, certain reality checks or moments of awakening to some unpleasant truth might also be in the cards. And on September 5th, we have Mars squaring Jupiter, which could also be a little bit of a difficult internal struggle going on. With Mars currently in Libra, we would rather not confront things head on, so there might be some sort of passive aggressiveness to it as well, and I guess that's especially the case when we're talking about online discourses, I think.
The lunar eclipse that we have on the 7th, there is a focus on religion, because of the star that is making a conjunction to, so like Abrahamic religions and people in public office. And certain countries are going to be affected more than others because of the visibility of the eclipse. Europe, it's partially visible. Australia and the Middle East, they seem to kind of get the most out of the eclipse.
The moon has this interesting quality. Yeah, sure, Luna and the lunatics, but it also has a sort of like contemplative, almost beautiful quality with Selene in that kind of aspect. So the moon kind of brings out the best and the worst in people, I think. It definitely has such a deep effect on them. And you just mentioned Pisces. Now, Pisces is two fish. There's a kind of an interesting sort of like under the water element.
So we got us a nice new show here. This is great. I'll share this on underneath. It's new. Hey, it's new. It's new stuff. This is what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna leave that. We're gonna go here. I don't fucking think so. Good morning. How are you doing? I fucked my foot up. You see? You can't see because I gotta wear a sock. I taped it back together, but since I couldn't see underneath it and I was bleeding profusely, I was like, oh, this is not good. This isn't what I'm looking for. Because it's not. It's not what I'm looking for. It's not what I want at all. But I think it'll be okay. I'll pry this sock off of it in a little bit. Pour a bunch of hydrogen peroxide on it. I don't want to hear all that bullshit about infection. Infection's for dummies. I cut all my foot open 2 or 3 different times. That happens a lot. You know, a little foot damage between friends. Never hurt anybody. But that's all I want to say. I just want to say good morning. Hope you are doing well. Have a nice day. I'm going to try to wake up now. I'm not doing a very good job of it. I'm not. I just want to introduce this new show. Because it's great. It's good to have a new show.